Hey, what's going on, guys? I know it's been a little while. Life has been a bit hectic. Had a funeral to go to there, had a family reunion to run off to, and sometimes you just gotta put the camera down. You just gotta be present, you gotta be there in life. But I'm back right now for a bit. I'm here in Toronto for like a week, and then I'm going to Sri Lanka to film a documentary, but we'll talk about that soon. But today I wanted to talk about cinematic tips. And actually I wanted to say that I think there's a lot of bad advice out there on YouTube. There's a lot of videos that say, hey, here's some tips to get cinematic footage. And then they just list a bunch of camera settings. And now knowing your camera is important. It's very important to know how to use your camera. But the most important thing to get cinematic footage isn't the type of camera you're using or the camera settings. It's what's happening in front of your lens. You see, you could have the best camera, the coolest lenses, and if you have a bad location and nothing going on, then you're not gonna get cinematic footage. So let's talk about cinematic tips today. But first, let's define what cinematic means. You know, it's a term that gets thrown around a lot. And what is it actually talking about? Well, I think we associate the word cinematic with kind of like the Hollywood movies, these films that we've grown up watching that are larger than life. Cinematic is to evoke emotion with the images that you're seeing. It's to take people to a different place. It's to get people lost in a story. It's to show something that they've never seen before. And just changing your camera settings won't get you these things. Now, you don't have to have the biggest budget in order to get cinematic footage. You just have to be intentional. This is like my 5th time trying this sentence. You just need to be intentional about a couple things. So what you need to be asking yourself before you go out there with your camera is this: what am I shooting? And where am I shooting it? Essentially, what is it that we're shooting? Who are we shooting? What is the story? And where are we shooting? What is the location? You need to ask yourself, what is gonna be in front of our camera? And I think the big mistake that a lot of people do is when instead of going out there and getting the right talent, the right actors or actresses or the right people to be in front of the camera, they just ask their friends to be in front of the camera. Don't ask your friends. Unless they're super talented, maybe you know like an Olympian who can do some crazy stuff, or you know some friends who are good actors. But just asking your friends is gonna be settling. And this is the thing that I always did in film schools. I'd find the people close to me and put them in front of my camera, and the films would turn out terrible. What you need to do is push and go a bit further. Try to find people who have a unique ability, whether they're good at acting or that have some sort of a unique talent that is better than average. Unless you're, of course, telling a documentary story about something else. But ultimately, people want to see something that they haven't seen before. So take, for example, the music video we just shot with Harm. We needed to get someone who could do some cool action. And originally, we were talking with the band about them dancing on camera, but as we started talking more, we were like, that just feels like the convenient choice because we already have the band available and they could be on camera. So what we began doing is we went onto Facebook, we went onto Mandy.com, which is like a casting website, and just reaching out, trying to find someone we didn't know who was an inner circle of friends who had a unique ability. And we wanted someone who could do some acrobatic work and some ninja type stuff. And we eventually found this guy, Gavin, who was amazing. And I'm so glad that we spent the extra time to find him. And I gotta give credit to the band, Family Things. They were the ones who did most of the work on that. And they found Gavin and he turned out to be amazing, and the video would not have been the same without him. Now you see, if we had just settled to use the people that were conveniently in our own lives already, we would have had a mediocre video. Now you need to push to find people who can do something special. Now, sometimes, like I mentioned in documentaries, you may not have people who have a crazy amount of talent, but you can always show them in the best way possible. So take, for example, Rescate. I wanted to do a little scene to highlight one of the characters named Hector. And rather than just kind of showing him around the shop where the paramedics stayed, or I don't know, just filming him down by a beach, I decided to get him doing something athletic because I knew he used to be a baseball player and he could actually do some athletic stuff. So I chose to shoot him at sunset. You have to shoot when there's good light, and we got him running towards the camera, and we went and found this cool location. And so here he is working out, and makes this scene cinematic. What could have just been a boring scene highlighting Hector and him talking on camera, we chose to show him doing something a bit different. And now this goes without saying that you have a good story, and I didn't want to get into story because of course story is so important. You can have the crappiest camera ever, you can shoot your whole thing on an iPhone, which actually iPhone's getting, oh, I just got a text. Like I was saying, it doesn't matter really what cameras you have if you have a good story. But today I'm not talking about story, but if you want to know a bit more about story, I can put a link right now for some videos where I've spoken about shooting documentary story. But anyways, moving on. Now that we've established what we're shooting, we need to establish where to be shooting. And what I'm meaning by that is location scouting. And if you've watched any of my videos, at least one or two on this channel, you'll know I love location scouting, and I am a big advocate for it. If you don't location scout before your shoots, you are compromising your shoots, and you're probably not getting the most cinematic footage possible because you're shooting in convenient areas. Now, just going outside your house and shooting on your driveway will not be cinematic. Unless you live in somewhere like Iceland and you live on a cliff and there's bald eagles flying everywhere and mountains and volcanoes. You need to travel a bit. You need to get outside your neighborhood, even if it's in your city, and find cool places to shoot. I'm about to go to Sri Lanka and film this documentary, and I have spent countless hours already on Google Street View, just searching through the city for cool locations that I want to find to film, and researching blogs and talking to photographers who've shot there, because I want to know where's the best place for me to film to get the most beautiful and cinematic footage when I arrive. Because if I just get there and go outside my hotel room, I'm not gonna get the coolest stuff. I need to get outside my comfort zone and get to some different places that people normally wouldn't see. Location is so important. Take for example this Nike commercial I did with DeMar DeRozan. We spent days and days trying to find the best basketball court that we could, and we eventually found this old airplane hangar that had been converted into basketball courts. So we're like, yeah, we're gonna film there. That's different, that's unique. Let's shoot it in black and white. It's gonna look different. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanna always be trying to do something a little bit different. If we just went down the street to a local basketball court, probably wouldn't have been as epic as we were hoping for. I did a film for Nikon where we were following a photographer, and she lived in Italy, and she was telling us that nearby her town, there was a volcano. So of course we went and we filmed on the volcano because that is amazing, and how often do you get the chance to do that? And this footage ended up turning super epic, and all she's doing is walking on the side of this mountain and taking some pictures of absolutely nothing, but because the location is amazing and stunning, it made the footage more cinematic. So don't compromise on locations. Always keep location scouting. Always try to find the most unique and different place that you can if it fits in with your story. Now, ultimately too, there's many more factors to make your footage more cinematic. Lighting is one of the most important things. This will always elevate the images that you're capturing. And I've done some videos about lighting and backlighting, and I'll put a link right now for that to talk about some simple tips to make your footage look much better. And of course, music is super important as well. This will help you set your tone and your emotion for your film. And if you want good music, I've partnered with Epidemic Sound. I have a free 30-day trial for their library. It's amazing. There's a ton of crappy stock music out there on the internet, and Epidemic Sound does not offer this. They have great music. They're one of the best places to find good music for your videos on the internet. So I have a link down there. It's a free 30-day trial. Try it out. But yeah, I hope this helps. Make sure to comment below and let me know what you do to make your footage more cinematic. What are some tips that you use personally? I'm gonna be doing some more videos before I go to Sri Lanka, which is in like maybe about a week or so. And I'll try and do some vlogging while I'm there, letting you guys know how to shoot a documentary with a small crew. But thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one.